Well, another week and another batch of snow and freezing temperatures. This harsh winter has been tough on everyone, both physically with the sub-zero temperatures and snowstorms we've been experiencing, and monetarily with the high cost of heating oil. But it's been particularly difficult for those with limited incomes. Steve Kiltonick begins our program today with a visit to several fuel assistance agencies to find out how, with budgets already stretched to the limit, they're keeping up with the increased fuel demand.
The winter of 2013 and 2014 has been one of the coldest on record in western Massachusetts. January saw temperatures in the single digits or below when factoring in the wind chill. Much of the bone-chilling weather was a result of the polar vortex, which brought freezing Arctic cold day after day to much of the Northeast, Midwest, and even the South. As a result, millions of people cranked up the heat much earlier than usual, and fuel assistance agencies have since struggled to keep up with the increased demand. And with the price of heating oil hovering near $4 a gallon, people with low incomes have been particularly hard hit. Catholic Charities is one agency that provides emergency fuel assistance to needy individuals and families. Its funding comes mainly from the generosity of parishioners and the Springfield Diocese through its annual Catholic Appeal. Catherine Buckley-Bronner is the executive director.
It has been probably one of the hardest years in terms of the need, and it also has been an equally hard year because we only have limited funding.
Last July 1st, the beginning of the fiscal year, she realized things were going to be much different this winter.
Within the first quarter, we had served already, or had come to our door already, triple the amount of people that we had had from the year before.
Around April, when people start to fall behind on their electric or gas bills, shut-off notices go out.
As we're going into the fall, people are looking forward to the cold weather, and they realize, oh my gosh, I've got these shut-off notices, I have children, I have the elderly. It just became very overwhelming for us.
When the cold weather hit, thermostats went up and people started to use up fuel at a much higher rate.
People who had electrical and gas bills, the gas bills and electric bills were just shooting and skyrocketing out of sight, so they were coming for assistance as well.
Buckley-Bronner said she had to create waiting lists and prioritize based on vulnerability.
The elderly and families with children certainly take priority, but then we had to look at, how imminent were the shutoffs. Was the family already without fuel or without electrical service? We work with the federal poverty guidelines. Some of our programs are poverty guideline driven, and some of our other programs are average medium income driven. And so there's not one formula that fits all.
Realizing their existing funds were going to fall short, Catholic Charities reached out to the Valley Gives program for the first time.
It was an additional month of emergency assistance that would be available to us, funding. So we're very, very grateful for that.
At the New England Farm Workers Council, the situation is just as critical.
Fuel assistance.
Lisa Gilhooly said the agency is also struggling to keep her Springfield clients warm this winter.
I think it's been a hard year. Every year is a hard year. There's just not enough money, and every year they cut our budget a little bit more.
She said their federally funded Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP, which helps eligible households pay a portion of winter heating bills, is down $1 million from last year. Oil prices fluctuate, but this month it costs about $3.94 a gallon, up 11 cents from a year ago.
So the benefit levels are lower, price of oil is higher. Our clients that heat with oil, kerosene, propane, their benefit level is not lasting. They maybe get one fill, and then that's it. And that lasts maybe a month, 6 weeks. All these people that got a delivery in November now have no more funds left.
Gilhooly said they have already processed 11,000 applications this winter and served almost 5,000 clients. But once the money allocated is used up, there is nothing more she can do except refer people to other agencies. Sometimes elderly on a limited or fixed income have to make some difficult decisions about life's basic necessities, often juggling fuel, food, and even medicine.
Just last week we had someone who was going to have to pay for 100 gallons of oil, and her statement was, well, I can't go grocery shopping. One of the most difficult things that we hear down here is they have to make a decision not to take medicines that are there to help them to save their lives because they have to purchase oil so they don't freeze. We get a lot of calls, young children in the house, newborns in the house. They have to have heat, you know, and there's only so much we can do.
One elderly woman who came to Catholic Charities for the first time did not want to be identified, but was willing to talk.
Even though I've taken a lot of preventive measures in terms of, maintaining a particular temperature control, keeping the drapes closed, making sure that certain things have been weatherized, I still find that it's been a challenge to maintain optimum levels of oil because of the severe cold that we've been experiencing.
On a fixed income, a health issue also impacted Samantha's finances. Now she is extremely careful how her money is spent.
Because of the high cost of the oil, it's been cost prohibitive to get a full tank of oil. I have a 275-gallon tank, and I find that I'm only able to purchase 100-gallon increments for oil this season.
Buckley Bronner says Catholic Charities has helped over 250 households this winter, but she's not optimistic they'll be better off next year.
I would imagine come September and October of this coming fiscal year, we will be at least in the same position we were this last year, if not worse.
She adds that no matter what the situation, no one should feel ashamed to seek help.
There's always going to be those folks that will walk around with their hands out constantly. There's another high percentage of people for whom this takes a great deal of courage to admit that they need help and to come and seek it. And so one of the things that we try to do here is make sure that no matter what you're doing here, the dignity piece stays with you.
For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonick.